Hey everyone, it's Raven and welcome to another Monster High video, and if you are new to this channel, make sure to check out my previous Monster High videos. And today I'm so excited for this because I'm going to be ranking all of the Monster High movies. Not the webisodes, just the actual movies, and these are 15 in total. But before I start ranking my top 15, make sure to leave your favorites down below, your list, because of course my list is not the right list. I have a very different taste compared to you guys, so of course our lists will differ. So let's start with number 15, and I think that number 15 is no surprise, but to me the worst Monster High movie ever is Electrified. I think that the character design is just fucking horrendous and the animation is kind of cool. I like the style of the animation actually, but I would have preferred the original characters, of course, because their eyes are just so fucking creepy. And I also think that they, in general with the reboot dolls, and also with the reboot movies, I think that the characters are just too cutesy, and this portal thing that I always use, like this phone or this portal, this is just so childish. Like, this is not Monster High. I think that the character design of Sylvie Timberwolf was really cool though, I liked her, but the thing is that they literally did nothing with her in the whole episode. They literally just found her at the beginning and then she became part of this band with like Zeus and Venus. It made no sense at all that they introduced this character, so this was a total waste. And I just think that the characters in general, like the main five, like Laguna, Cleo, Frankie, Drake, Laura, and Claudine, they just don't behave like themselves anymore. The character dynamic is not the same anymore as in the other movies, and the vibes and the atmosphere is just totally different of the whole school. To me, it's just not Monster High anymore. And also the jokes that they're making are just not funny at all. I think they left out many cool characters because they really only focus on these newer characters, and we also don't see Abby or Gulia at all. Like, I think there is this Yeeet. I don't know if this is supposed to be Abby, but like, why is she now big and an actual Yeeet? Like, this is not cool. Like, give us please basic Abby back. And also, as I already said, with the cheap jokes, there's just too many weird, like, glibbery monsters. Like, they don't, I'm not saying that they don't belong in Monster High, but it just feels like literally a cartoon for like 1-year-olds, like a 1-year-old would watch, and it does not feel like Monster anymore. Like, it's not funny at all. Like, the whole story, there is actually no story because the main focus is only cheap jokes and stereotypical behavior from characters. For example, also Monica is just the most unlikable villain ever with her zombies, and she also kind of replaced Toralei because we don't see we only see Toralei as a background character, but we don't see her actively doing something. And what happened between Cleo and Deuce? Like, there is like no relationships between like a boy and a girl, or a girl and a girl and there are just no like boyfriends, girlfriends anymore, and this is just, that's not cool. Like, we need that. And there's also no Gil, no Claude. It just seems like that Drake, Laura, and Laguna forgot about their boyfriends, and it also just feels so messy and everything is just so cheap and expected. The whole story is just so, you can't predict it. And Frankie behaves like a fucking robot the whole time when she's like electrified, and just does not make sense. I also hate that the characters like Drake Laura is so annoying. She always films everything with her phone and puts it on the internet. I don't like that idea. And their friendship between Cleo, Laguna, and the main five just feels so forced. It does not feel natural anymore. So I give this movie a 0.5 out of 10. And to no surprise, just slightly a bit better, at number 14 comes in Welcome to Monster High, the first like reboot movie. I don't like the new styles of the characters at all. Like, they're so fucking creepy, awkward, and I just hate how they're trying to be funny. And the only good thing is that I actually like that Claudine can transition into an actual wolf now. I love that idea, so this is why. That's the only good thing. The story of how they built Monster High and found the other characters like Cleo in like Egypt and Laguna and I don't know what this was, is kind of cute but not cool at all in comparison to the real beginning. Like, if this was the real beginning, like if this movie would have come out in 2010, I would probably like that movie that much. But the fact that we already have a Monster High and we already have the characters, it just does not make sense to me. So this is why we just, the nostalgia just kicks in, so this is why we all probably hate this movie and the idea of the reboots. I also don't like that YouTube like vlog style shit that Dracula is always doing. As I already said with Electrified, they always have their phone with them and film everything. I fucking hate that, I'm sorry. And they don't Also, they don't take themselves seriously. They make literally every scene seem ridiculous. There's like no serious plot anymore. Like, for example, in the higher movies that we are going to talk about, there's an actual plot and an actual message like the creators wanted to put out in the world. But this is not working. And again, here the character dynamics not working at all. It feels not real. They just seem too cute and Barbie. Like, I gave it maybe like 2 out of 10. Next up, at number 13, we come to a movie that I actually own, and this is double feature, so yeah. But it's Fright on. In German it's called Monster oder Musterschule. But this is actually the only animation with that style in the webisodes, and I just don't like that for a movie. I like it for the webisodes, it's total okay style, but for a movie it just hurts my eye after a certain time. I think the movie is like 45 minutes long and I just don't like it. And I don't like that Holleen is so mean to Claudine all the time. Like, Claudine is my girl, and if someone is mean to her, like, I can understand because she's like her little sister, but she just gets a little bit too annoying at some points. And I think that this is a cool idea because everyone knows that vampires and werewolves are like the oldest rivals. So I like the concept that they tried to put in there. And in this movie, Cleo is just the most annoying bitch ever. I'm sorry, but like, I love Cleo. I'm a Cleo stan, but in this movie, no. But honestly, Abby always is the best ever. She's the best girl. How she tries to like put order in this, how she tries to put vampires and werewolves apart, like, she's best ever. But it's just not realistic at all how fast they got together in the beginning and how fast they got torn apart by, like, what was his name again? By this guy. Van Helsing? Something like that. Like, in the beginning, they hate each other, and then they get together and have the dance party, and then this guy comes and is like, no, you guys hate each other now, and then he orchestrates something that vampires and werewolves hate each other again. Like, that does not make sense to me. And but the story of Holleen is actually clever and reasonable, that she wants to be like a leader in this werewolf scene now because she has always been in the shadow of Claudine. But I don't like that Claude is not acting true to himself, like that he is not with Draculaura now anymore and that he is with this other werewolf guy. I just think that all of the characters' actions, also Draculaura and Claudine's, are not reasonable. Like, they don't feel like the true characters to me in this movie. Frankie, Laguna and Abby are cool though, because there are not vampires and werewolves, so they do not have to pick a side. It's a cool message though that humans don't want monsters to unite, because there is this human coming to school and his only reason why he is at Monster High is because he wants monsters to hate each other. So it's cool. That message is cool, and this is what I also missed with the newer Monster High movies. But Abby, again, at the end, is literally the only one saving everyone, and we will see that in the following movies. Abby will literally always save everyone's asses, so here goes that. I give this movie like a 3 out of 10, I'm sorry, but I mean, I still love it. At number 12, we have Haunted. I think that this movie has such great visuals when they are in this ghost world with Spectra. I think their like silhouette, their aura with each character is just so cool. I love that so much. Just like the cinematography is so great in this movie. But I think that the energy between Porter and Spectra, that they are like set out to be boyfriend and girlfriend throughout the movie, I think their dynamic does not really work together, you know what I mean? For me at least. And I think that the Red Lady was too obvious that she's the headmistress. Like, Spectre had a slightly nice character development throughout the movie, like that she learned the lesson. Again, here we have the message again that you should not spread rumors. I think it was nice that that Kiyomi is the one that was haunting Draculaura. Was a nice unexpected plot twist actually, but I think that the reaction from the other characters were just totally weak, because I mean, Kiyomi was like the whole reason why they went to this haunted high, like this ghost school, and when it was revealed that it was like all Kiyomi's fault, everyone was like, oh, okay, let's move on. I would be like so mad at her, so I don't know what they were thinking with that. But I really like the story of the chains, and I like that these are like the tension chains that they have to work off, and like at the end that Red Lady has like this big chain ball. It's just like you be like, okay, how many people did she kill? Like, I like that a lot actually, but I don't like the setting of the school at all. Like, this is the reason why this movie is so down to me on the list, because I just don't like it when the Monster High movies are not like at Monster High, and the fact that it's in this school, I just don't like the vibe of the school at all. It's just my personal preference, but no, the atmosphere just it didn't get me like the other movies. So I hope you can understand that. I think it was actually a good end, and I like that the movie actually had a structure, like an exposition and then the climax and then falling, like, you know what I mean. So it also gets a solid 3.5 out of 10 for me. Guys, you're now already at number 11, and number 11 we have the original, the first movie ever with Dawn of the Dance Dolls. We have, in German it's called Aller Anfang ist schwer. In English it's called New Ghoul at School, and I mean, without this movie, Monster wouldn't exist. It's technically not a movie, but I still wanted to include it. It's like, I think 20 minutes long. Yeah, 22 minutes. But still, like, guys, this is the first webisode / movie we ever had from Monster High, so I just had to include this. It's just, like, it fucking started it all, okay? And I think that it was a perfect introduction to all of the ghouls, and everyone can relate to Frankie at New Point. Like, when you are the new ghoul at school, I think that idea is very cool. And it's funny to see, like, how their relationship was at first. Like, I watched this movie, actually after I watched all of the other ones, so it was, like, very cool to see how it all started again. It was so nostalgic. But sometimes Frankie is just so stupid and unlikely, though I was never the biggest Frankie fan. I'm so sorry for all the Frankie fans out there, but I just found her so annoying at sometimes, and how she's trying to fit in. Of course it's reasonable because she's like only like 15 days old, but still, I give this movie a 6 out of 10. Now we're in the top 10, guys, and at number 10 I actually have a movie that I just watched, and I just bought it actually. It is the Greatscarrier Reef. I think it was the intro is so cool, and I think that the animation is so cool as well. And I think that it's cool that Laguna gets more screen time, and I think that the dynamic of Toralei and Laguna is a really cool experience actually. And it's great to see that finally stands up against Toralei's behavior. Like, Toralei is always the meanest chick ever, and nobody does anything against it. And I think it's very cool that Laguna is this kind of rebellious ghoul that actually also confronts Toralei and disinvites her to her party. So this is a cool idea. And I think it's a good setup for the actual story, like the Greatscarrier Reef. I think it's in contrast to the haunted, like the school. I didn't really like the haunted school, but I think it's great that they like explore the different cultures and different habitats of the monsters. I think that Laguna's place is actually one of the best ones. The colors are just so awesome. But I think that Pusilla is like so unlikable. She's the daughter of Poseidon. She just makes everything seem so ridiculous when there's always this like rainbow behind her and she's talking like that. I don't like that at all. I think we could also see like these childish aspects crawling into Monster High at this point, so this is why this is not really cool to me. I just love that everyone has these powers. I love Claudine's powers, that she is able to make her invisible, and I think it's very cute to see how everyone discovers their powers. I really like the idea of Kali, that we also got this flashback of her and Laguna when they were little children. This made it really easy to understand Kali's motivations, why she is the way she is, and also with the big reveal at the end, like that her father is the octopus. But I already, like, as soon as they were in this little cave and when you saw these drawings of her, I knew that this was her father, but still, it was a okay plot twist. I think that it's also really cool that we saw another side of Toralei, that she was actually sweet at the end and that she really was a part of this friend group. And the fact that this was like the last official Monster High movie without reboot characters, I think that it was a great end to Toralei's character. But I feel very sorry for Calpi, actually, for Laguna's little sister. She's really cute, I like this character. I just really like how Laguna treats her. I also like Perry and Pearl. I love the two-headed mermaid. Sometimes Laguna is a little annoying though. The whole movie is like about Laguna learning to dance without being scared of her audience. And I also think it is awesome how Gil and the other protected Laguna. But the ending didn't really make sense though. I think that the ending was a little bit rushed and it was a little bit over the top at the end. And what I also like about all of the Monster movies is that we get every time there's a new Monster student, for example in this movie it's Carla, Perry and Pearl, I like that they all have the same fear. They all have the same fear of rejection, that they do not fit in. And this is the message that Monster High brings to us. It is that you can be different, you can be totally crazy, you can be a freaking monster, but Monster High will still accept you. But I think that the ending was so unfulfilling because at the end we just got another party. It was like a really short sequence. I would have loved to see Laguna dance like again, but this time without being scared, because she's actually a pretty good dancer, and now she like faced her fear. I mean, now she's friends with Carla, so she doesn't have fear anymore. So I think that you could have added like 5 to 10 minutes. So that was really sad. So I give this actually a 7 out of 10. I really like this movie. And the next two movies, they all get a 7 out of 10 for me. So you could like place them in a different order, but because they're all like the same kind of good to me, so this is also 7 out of 10. And the next one is gonna be at spot number 9. It's gonna be Skull Shores, Escape from Skull Shores it's called. First of all, I love the carnival sequence at the beginning. It's one of my favorite scenes ever. I just love the theme of circus and carnival. I think they could have made a whole movie around that. It would be so cool, also with Calliope and everything. We just got these few like little episodes on YouTube, but I would have loved to see a whole movie about that. Like, this would be so cool. And I also love the little competition at the beginning that like all the boyfriends have to win prizes and plushies for their girlfriends versus Claude. I think that's a cute little sequence, and I love the humor in this. And I think that the story is, it's just a cool idea to show what our girls are doing in their vacation. But I think that Gil is just so unlikable and annoying the whole time. And I also hate this guy, like with the map and the other, I think he's called Kipling. These characters are just so unlikable. But I love the idea that he wants to create like this freak show. I also think that the summer or beach theme is very unusual, but actually kind of fun, so this is cool. But I also really don't like the chickies. I just hate these little annoying characters that are just a little too childish for me. Even back then when I was an actual child, these were still too childish for me, but that's really just personal preference. But I think that it's funny that Cleo is not getting her royal treatment as usual. That was nice to see. I just love to see that Julia and Abby are having the time of their lives. It's logic that Laguna is kind of the only one who is suspicious about this guy and how they get treated, especially how Frankie gets treated. But again, I don't really like the villain because he has no clear groundbreaking motivation that justifies his actions. And Andy, so the beast, is actually a pretty cool character. I think I love that when he gets angry, or that he transforms into the beast. I think that's a really cool idea. Claudine is just such a babe all the time. She looks so pretty. I love her. But Abby is literally the coolest monster ever because she rescues everyone as usual. But I think that's also cute how Gil came back with his like little army at the end with these dolphins and on this ship again. I also think that it's cool how they all try to protect Andy. It's a really different movie because all of the monster movies are usually like set at night, but this was like in a freaking beach. Like everything was so bright and colorful. It was very unusual, so I liked that about it. But again, the villains and how they got there, like the whole thing was a little bit unfulfilling to me. But I like Andy, the new character, so this one gets a solid 7 out of 10 for me as well. So guys, next up comes a movie that I really liked as a child, but rewatching it I didn't really like it that much anymore, and this is Scaris. Scaris babes. First of all, the characters that I introduced, like Gina Fire and Skelida, I love them so freaking much. But I just feel like the whole story is just so weak, and the action is also there. If you really watch the movie, it's really one of the most boring movies. And this is actually also one of the only movies that is rated, we say in German, we have this rating that this is for ages 0 and up, and all of the other Monster movies are actually ages 6 and up. As you can see, they're all 6. And you could really feel that, and I think this is the reason why I don't really like it. I'm sorry, again, just personal preference. But I just love that this movie is all about Claudine. You know, she's my favorite character. She was called Monatella Gusti, I think. And the concept that she's disappearing when she's not creating art or not being famous. I think that because she's like a ghost, this is a great concept, I think. And this was also a cool idea how she found Claudine's video, that they were like making a little catwalk thingy and Monstri, and then somebody filmed it and put it on, I don't know, the Monstri YouTube, and she found it. I think this was reasonable how Claudine got there and everything, so the exposition was nice. I think it was so cool to see Claudine finally happy, everything turns around her, and it's great to see how others cheer her up and support her. I think this is so cool. There are also great jokes in this movie. I just love the boy Monstri characters like Heath, Claude, Juice in general. It's so cute how the boys missed him, like especially how Juice misses Cleo. That's so cute. I just love the relationship so much. I love the love story between Rochelle and Garrot. It's so romantic and tragic how it got like split apart. Also the music in this movie, like this Parisien music. I love that. Just watch the movie and you know what I mean. The music is just so cool and tragic. Also Catherine, we got Catherine, and I just also love the competitive vibe that I have to go through, and it's cool to see how differently they're creating fashion. I also love, again, how they explore the different cultures, like with Glitter we have this Mexican culture and with Gina Perry the Chinese culture. I also like the little catacomb sequence because like the French catacombs are just so famous, and I just love this little side plot where how Julia earns her money back. It is just so creative and fun how she is playing instruments or painting walls. I think that's really cool as well. There's just so many great little side stories what the other characters are doing in Scaris. That's just so cool. I think the sequence when Claude and the other dudes were searching for Claudine and the other ghouls, how Claude managed to get Claudine's scent, and it was just so emotional because he's like her big brother, and he was like, oh no, come on guys, they are in the catacombs, and no, it sounds weird, but like it's her sister, it's his sister. It was just so cute how they found them and how then the other characters managed to break this wall. I just love when the Monster High students actually use their powers, like when Deuce takes his glasses off or when Heath burns something. I just love that so much, okay? I'm just a sucker for these things. And all of the characters are just so likable and cool. Also the villain. By the way, I want that Heath fashion doll, like the thing that he wore at the actual fashion show at the end. I want that doll so much. Somebody make it, okay? Give it to me. The sequence at the end with the traveling home is also so cool as well and very funny that we see other cultures. So overall a great movie. Not my favorite, but still I had to rank them somehow. Scaris comes in at number 8. Now guys, take a sip and be prepared for number 7. At number 7 we have Frights camera action. Guys, first of all, the dolls are so pretty. I think it's just so cool that we get to know the whole vampire culture. I also like the cast selection. I like that they have Hoodoo Voodoo, Claudia, Rebecca's also. We will get to Rebecca later. I love that so much. I think that the story of how vampires get their powers is really cool and reasonable, but I think that it's not logic that the vampire supremes come to that guy like after 400 years exactly. Now that does not really make sense to me, so the exposition is not that great. This is why it's like actually right in the middle of the list. This is why it's in the middle of the list. That little guy is just so ugly and annoying and not likable at all. I'm sorry, I just don't like these characters that are just there to be like funny. He's not funny to me because even the villains to me have to be a bit likable. The story of her getting selected as the princess is reasonable though, Draculaura, why the guy is using her. I think that this is a great animation, the settings especially, and the colors are just so cool that they also go to London. But I think it was too easy for her to find out that she's not the real queen. It was just like, she thought for like 3 minutes that she's the queen, and then she found the actual heart and touched it and it was not a real one. So no, this was not cool. The villain's motivation is also not really convincing, but I think that it was nice to have this little mystery adventure. The trip that Elizabeth put them on, and I like that they all took inspiration from actual Hollywood movie artists. I also love Rebecca as a character so much, and the fact that she had like the vampire heart inside of her, and that she throughout the whole traveling knew that she knew the way, knew that there's like something inside of her. I think it's so cool. I love her so much. But I think it was too obvious that Veronica is Elizabeth. Like they made this big plot twist at the end, but to me it was not a plot twist at all. It was never. Again, this movie gets 8.5 out of 10, which is really good. I love this movie. At number 6 we have Sweet 1600, or also called Why Do Ghouls Fall in Love? First of all, I don't like Draculaura's whininess in this at all, because the movie that she's like the star in, but man, she's so annoying the whole time that she wants like the best birthday ever. It's like girl, calm down, like your friends are doing everything to give you the best birthday ever, and what are you doing? You are just crying the whole time. Like be grateful for that what you have, okay? And I don't like that everyone wants to please Dracula, right? This is so annoying. I hate when she's just so unlikable in this movie. But Abby, like man, her jokes in this movie are just so cool. You gotta watch it. And it's just so cute to see that Claude is really trying his best to please his very bitchy girlfriend Draculaura in this movie. He's very cute in this. But the story of Valentine and Draculaura is so romantic. Like the sequence from the beginning when, oh my god, I'm literally crying right now. This is so romantic. I think it's very cool how another holiday got explained, because in the movie Ghouls Rule, actually the holiday Halloween got explored and explained, and now we got Valentine explained. And again, also, like, Valentine as a character, his motivation, his story is just so morbid. I mean, he literally wants ghouls to fall in love with him so that he can break their heart and put him in his like trunk or whatever this is. Like, this is like really evil. Like, I mean, like, this is not stuff you see in normal children's movies. So this is why I love Monster High. I love just this concept. Like, this is so cool. And I also love this rivalry between Valentine and Claude then. And all of the jokes are great again. It's just a perfect dramatic love story. It's just the best Monster High love story ever. And Torali's just the sneakiest bitch ever. Like, she's just very unlikable in this movie. Cupid has such cool powers. It's just so funny how Cupid and Claude fall in love at the end. And also, like, the end when Claude gives Draculaura this memory box. Like, I cried. So, again, do you see that I'm literally crying right now a little bit? Because this scene is just so sad and romantic and dramatic. Oh my god, I'm such a drama. I'm a fucking Libra, okay? Don't judge me. It's just so cute. So this is the reason why it's pretty high up on the list. I love this movie really by my heart so much. And also the secret party room at the end, like the dancing and everything, so cool. I give this movie also an 8.5 out of 10. Next up we have Friday Night Frights, also called Skulltimate Roller Maze. It's just very good reason why the story starts. I just love when movies have a good exposition, and this one surely has one. How the boys at the beginning lose against this gargoyle team and everything. I just love that so much. And it's a good thing that the boys get featured a bit more. And I just love that the school crest, I just love the fact that they really need to get this school crest back in order that their school does not fall apart. This is also reasonable and very cool motivation to start the movie, because, but my only question is like, what happens to school that are like really bad? For example, the zombie school is there. Do they even have a school? This also for like emancipation, I think that it's really cool. It's a really good story because the boys have so much prejudice, especially Heath Burns, Manitor. They were like, oh my god, girls can't do roller skate, like, what are you doing? This is a boy sport. Of course, they're so confident and they just keep what they're doing. And also Draculaura, when she confronts Claude, I think this is so cool. Like, we need these role models. I love Monster High for that so much. They inspire, for especially us girls, so much to just live our lives. The Legend of Rebecca, because this is the movie where Julia actually builds Rebecca. She founds the little parts of her. This discovery is just so epic. Every time I see it, I'm like, oh my god, it's happening, it's happening. When she's like opening her eyes and these little wheels spin in her eyes, I'm like, oh my god. It's also so cool how their drive inspires other monsters. Also Operator, because Operator is like the coolest southern girl ever. I love Operator so much. And I also like how Claude's character development, how he does not support Draculaura at the beginning because he thinks that this sport is too dangerous for her. But at the end, he actually is their coach, and I think that's very cool character development. Also great and cute jokes. The race is also really cool and exciting, and it's just amazing that Draculaura especially won at the end, because at the end they didn't take the crest from the gargoyles, they just left this out. I just love that Frankie especially does not like the traditions at all, and that they leave traditions behind. I just love that message so much, and I'm totally in for that. So Monster High, I love you. This is why Friday Night Frights, aka Skulltimate Roller Maze, gets 9 out of 10, which is a really good rating. It's at number 5. Guys, next up at number 4. I love this movie so much. It's 13 Wishes, guys. Okay, first of all, it's nice that like Holeen got her own movie because she is such a cool babe. And it's a very interesting creative topic that they have this genie thing going on. And like the character design is amazing, especially Wisp and Gigi, and it's like a little sequence at the beginning. Oh my god, like this is like a really good movie, okay? and the history of just Gigi and Wisp is so cool. I just hate at the beginning how, or throughout the whole movie, that Holleen is so mean to Claudine. Like, I mean they're sisters, but Holleen is like really, really mean to Claudine the whole time. And Laguna's transformation from a salt to a sweet water fish, she acts so weird, like literally too weird, and she's just so annoying the whole time. I'm sorry for that. But that the boys like Claude, Heath and Manny, I think it is, how they're making this dangerous, they're in this stunt show, and I think that this side plot is so cool and so funny. I love them so much. Again, the boys, I love my boys. And it's a great message though, that hatred and being mean to others can turn you into a different person, like literally. What was really sad is that Holleen wished that Cleo was not popular anymore, and then how Cleo, like nobody knew Cleo. I think this was like really deep actually, when she was like asking Frankie and Claudine how they are, and they're like, oh my god, you're the new girl. It was like, guys, please don't do Cleo like that, okay? Like, this was really but I love how Twyla is so nice to everyone. She's a really great character as well. I love the mean character designs of Frankie, Julia, Abby, Claudine. So cool, so gothic, so amazing. Also an amazing animation and cinematography when they are actually in this dreamland, in this land from Gigi. And I think that the mirror idea is just really good ideas in general. And it's probably the most dramatic movie-like story ever from a Monster Train movie. So there goes that. And it's also a really cute ending that Holleen had a really good character development, and everyone is just so cute and happy at the end, even Wisp. I just love that she has now like a friend group as well, and it's just the best fucking message ever at the end. So 9 out of 10, love this movie so much. Like, now we're getting my top 3, I loved them so much. At number 3, with a rating of 9.5 out of 10, like, this is a really good movie. We have Freaky Fusion, guys. Like, I was so excited for this movie. I've never been so excited for a man's monster movie before in my life. Like, the idea of monsters fusing together, I think it was an amazing idea of the hybridity, and also the history of Monster High. And I liked this also, again, the Rebecca's theme history a lot with Hezekiah's theme. I love that he got a movie as well. And it was just great cast dynamics, also who they fuse with whom together make really good sense to me. It was a very entertaining, very suspenseful story especially, and it was also amazing to explore this Frankenstein history. It was so cool. But I have one question: why is there no Sparky doll, like Frankie's grandfather? Why is there no doll from, like, I love just these time travel stories. It was so cool as well. But one thing I didn't like, that was not really logical to me, is that they didn't take the butterfly effect into consideration. But the idea of this big thing, like Sparky creates this like robot, I didn't like that at all. This destroyed the movie for me. I'm so sorry. If this thing wouldn't have been there, it would probably be my number 1, but this thing destroyed it too for me. But Frankie's move is just so epic, how she destroys the thing and how they also all save Frankie. This is so dramatic, so epic, so cool, and it's very inspiring. So this is why this movie gets a 9.5 out of 10 for me, and it's at place 3. Guys, now comes a movie. It has literally 10 out of 10. It is a perfect movie. It is a perfect movie for me, and it's Boo York. Boo York is at number 2. I love this movie so much. The soundtrack is so bomb and fitting. Like, literally, I usually hate musicals, but this, like, literally all the songs are so catchy and inspiring. I have them still in my playlist somewhere. Love them so much. The new characters also get introduced very wisely with Mercedes King, LED, Luna Matthews. Luna Matthews, I love her so much. And the relation is also very reasonable, that or the situation that Cleo is in is also very reasonable. And Kelly Noir is just the best ever. Like, I ship her with Pharaoh so much. They're just such a great couple. It's just such a tragic story that Kelly tries to find real love. The comet theme as well is so dramatic and suspenseful. I also love the villains, like Nephra and her dad. I love them so much. This is what I mean. These are likable, amazing villains. Love them so much. And it's also a very great setting and location, like Boo York. The cinematography of this, oh, the atmosphere, I love it so much. And again, Nephra is just such a cool villain because they are actually clever and strategic and have a fucking plan and a motivation. And Deuce is just so cute and clumsy in this. I just like the relation there we have it. The relation between Cleo and Deuce is one of my favorites, and the duet of Pharaoh and Caddy is so cool. Like this little red bell they have, and Cleo and Deuce's breakup is so freaking sad. And the plot twist with Torlight taking over Caddy's voice is also so sad, but then how they get this voice back, especially this part where Luna sang, it's so amazing. And again, Julia saved the world as always because she played like these tunes, and then Astronova woke up. Such a cool idea. So 10 out of 10. So now what movie are we missing? Like we have had everyone. What is my favorite Monster movie of all time? What is my number one with like 100 out of 10? It's Ghoul's Rule. This whole movie is about the concept of Halloween. It's just a really great idea for a story. Halloween is such a great topic, it makes so much sense, and also so many characters gets featured. This was like at the beginning of Monster, it was like 2012 I think, so we didn't have many characters. And also every character gets wisely used, like literally every character in this movie has a meaning, and so many, there are just so many perfect characters. And all of the characters are relatable and not cringy. Literally each and every one of them I could identify with everyone a little bit. And I like the idea of the secret Halloween chamber and how they discover it, in this like skeleton woman is touring them around, and that how they explore the true history of Halloween is just so freaking cool, guys. And the relationship between Heath and Abby, how she's always saving him but he wants to save her, is just so cool, such a cool. And the reason why this movie is so high up on the list, because Jackson Jekyll aka Hold Tight is one of my favorite characters ever. And I also think that Abby, again, she is always she's just such a great character in this movie. And also Frankie's whininess is like very reasonable in this, so I really like her as well in this movie. And Cleo's motivation that she wants to like rise up and stand up against the humans and wants to become a leader, again the pressure that she gets from her dad and Nephra is just also very reasonable in this movie as well. So her motivations are reasonable. I can understand her, so this is a great like villain as well. And the jokes are also actually funny and cool, and it's so cool to see them in the real human world and to actually see other humans living in this monster universe, you know what I mean? And I love that party sequence a lot, like when the monsters are trying to blend in but then everything goes down. This is just so cool. And Claire, like the human girl, is just so... she's literally... Claire's like every girl that loves Monster High. Like we are all a Claire inside. And the sequence in a normie school when Jackson is Jackson and not Hole, and when he is in the school, it's just so cute when he's like walking around and trying to be normal. He is just so cute. I love that so much. And the relationship with Hughes and Cleo is just so sad again. And also the message at the end is just so cool. I love that Hold Tight is like one of the main characters in this, because it's like the only time he is featured a little bit, and I love that so much. So the reasons why this is my number one, it's Hold Tight, it's Halloween, it's the humans and Claire especially, and also the villain, because I think that the best thing about Monster High is their friendship, their community and unity, and their special powers, and everything gets featured in that. I just love that they connect you with the humans. It's just such an amazing message. I love this movie so much. I love it so much. So guys, we had now so many movies. Love you guys. See you in my next video. Bam! By the way, don't forget to drink a Red Bull.